7 students dead, 1 injured in Kebbi pit collapse. Farmers, herders signed peace pact to end clashes in southwest region. Another APC ward faction suspends Ganduje. On the foreign scene, 50 bodies found in mass grave in Gaza hospital days after Israeli withdrawal. Welcome to the news update on Trust Television. At this hour, I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for joining us. Now the news in full. In a tragic incident in Kebbi State, a pit collapse resulted in the loss of 7 young lives and left 1 student injured. The pupils from the Malam Dan Umar Quranic School were tasked with excavating clay and gravel near their school premises to repair holes, unaware of the impending danger. Dan Umar, the school's proprietor, confirmed the incident to newsmen. The local community, shocked by the accident, has called for increased safety measures to prevent such tragedies in the future. Residents have expressed disbelief over the incident, highlighting the need for vigilance and precautionary measures. Authorities are considering implementing stricter regulations with the possibility of banning excavation activities on hillsides to prevent similar occurrences. Zayanu Sankar, the special advisor to Governor Nasser Idris on pilgrims' welfare, acknowledged the need for immediate action and pledged to address the issue to prevent further loss of life. The management of Plateau State University, Bokos, has taken the difficult decision to close the university temporarily following the tragic killing of a student by gunmen. The closure, as announced in a statement signed by Registrar Yakubu F. Ayuba, will last for 10 days. This decision comes in the wake of escalating violence with 3 people, including a student, being killed during an attack on Butora community in Bokos Council. The recent incident adds to the tension following previous killings in neighboring communities between Mangu and Langtang local government areas of the state. In response to the unrest, students staged a protest, which was quelled by personnel from Operation Safe Haven. The closure of the university aims to mitigate the security risks faced by the university community and allow for improvements in the security situation. As a result of the closure, ongoing first semester examinations have been suspended and are set to resume on Thursday, 2nd May 2024. Meanwhile, farmers and herders in Nigeria's southwest region took a significant step towards resolving conflicts by signing a peace pact aimed at fostering stability and promoting food security. Shegun Dasaolu, representing the Commodities Farmers Organization in the southwest, and Othman Ngelar Zauma, president of Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, signed the agreement at a summit held at the International Conference Center, University of Ibadan. Emphasizing the importance of peace, both Dasaolu and Ngelzarma stressed the need for harmony in the region and across Nigeria. The signing ceremony was attended by prominent figures such as Rashidi Ladoja, former governor of Oyo State, and the Otun Olubadan of Ibadan land, and Folashade Tinubu Ojo, Iyaloja General, a daughter of President Bola Tinubu. And on to political matters. The political turmoil within the All Progressives Congress in Ganduje Ward, Dawa Kintofa local government area in Kano State, escalated as another faction announced the suspension of the party's national chairman, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje. This announcement came after the ward's legal advisor, Haladu Gwanjo, had previously declared Ganduje's suspension, citing alleged corruption and other misconduct. However, the state branch of the party swiftly intervened, suspending the ward executives for their roles in the suspension. The party's ward chairman, Ahmed Ganduje, reiterated his support for Abdullahi Ganduje, expressing satisfaction with his leadership. In a surprising turn of events, another group claiming to be the legitimate executives announced Ganduje's suspension once again. The secretary of this faction, Jafar Ganduje, alongside 11 other executive members, attributed the suspension to alleged anti-party activities and failure to pay statutory dues. They also accused Ganduje of contributing to the factionalization of the party at the ward level, tarnishing its reputation. The conflicting suspensions underscore the deep divisions within the APC in Ganduje's word, highlighting the challenges facing the party at the grassroots level. Still in the northwest, the Katsina state government has reopened the filling stations it had earlier sealed for alleged selling of fuel to bandits. Checks by Trust TV News revealed motorists were seen buying fuel from the affected filling stations hours after the reopening. Trust TV's Abdullahi Yamadi completes the story.
Officials of a special task force on essential commodities headed by the Chief of Staff to the Governor of Katsina State had sealed off the filling stations during an unscheduled visit, alleging conspiracy with the bandits.
We have been targeting the insurgents. Now we are targeting the collaborators. Those who sell fuel to insurgents are also collaborators, and they will be met with the same treatment as the insurgents.
Katsina residents who were suspecting that the move had a political undertone are left wondering what may have transpired that warranted the reopening. Similarly, all staff of the affected filling stations apprehended during the operation were also released, but not without some conditions.
After the closure of the filling stations, as we said earlier, security agencies invited the owners of the filling stations, but for lack of concrete exhibit that will link them with the allegations, the security agents made them to undersign an agreement that henceforth they will not sell petrol to any vehicle or into any container that is not allowed by law to be carrying or to be discharging fuel.
At the moment, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association IPMAN Katsina State Branch and the owners of the affected filling stations are calling on the government to make proper investigations before embarking on any mission like this. This is a step in the right direction. We are in total support of whatever action the government will take to restore peace to our state. And if this is part of it, we thank God. But let me reiterate here and now that we are patriotic citizens and we don't support anything that is capable of endangering our state.
All
the affected staff were released, and as you can see, the filling stations have been reopened. Our support to Governor Radda is unflinching, now and always. We thank God for his blessings, and we thank Katsina residents for their unrelenting prayers. IPMAN officials are patriotic, and our support to the government remains intact. We thank Malam Dikko Umaru Radda for his understanding. Mixed reactions continue to trail the operation on social media and other public spaces in Katsina, considering the gravity of the allegations and the immediate reopening of the filling stations. They are also calling on the special task force to work with caution. Abdullahi Yamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Still in Katsina, a customs officer identified as Awal Haruna was reportedly linked by suspected angry traders and commercial drivers at Gamjin, Makaho on Keita Dankama Road in Katsina State. The incident happened Wednesday morning when traders traveling to the Dankama weekly market were stopped at a customs checkpoint about 1 kilometer away from Keita town en route Dankama border market in Katsina State. Again, Abdullah Yamadi tells us more.
The traders who were earlier moving in a convoy had a stopover at Shinkafi roundabout in the Katsina metropolis where they were alleged to have mobilized themselves fully before moving towards Dankama market. According to eyewitnesses, the convoy on reaching Gamjin Makaho customs checkpoint, Officer Awal Haruna and his colleagues stopped the already angry traders and drivers for routine checks, but they defied any attempt to do so. That resulted to a heated argument between the customs officials and the motorists, from where they descended on Awal Haruna with sticks, stones, and other objects. The officer fired a shot in self-defense to scare the angry mob, which hit one of the passengers. This further aggravated the situation. It was also gathered that the angry traders chased the NCS official, who ran into a nearby house and set some part of it ablaze, forcing the customs officer out before he was instantly killed by the mob. Though the owner of the house was at Dankama Market when the unfortunate incident happened, his wife, however, narrated how the customs officer struggled to escape death.
I was in my room when the children hurriedly came in to tell me that some unknown people from checkpoints were chasing someone. A few minutes later, I saw the customs officer in my room and I rushed out. When the mob later poured petrol and set the place ablaze, the officer was forced to come out of the room due to the fire, and that's how they killed him here.
Although some villagers declined to comment on camera, maybe for the fear of the unknown, a member of the State House of Assembly representing Keita local government, Siraju Abdullahi, faulted the traders' action. The traders are at fault because they refuse to follow due process, which I, with the help of the state government in collaboration with the customs officials, agreed upon. I call for a thorough investigation aimed at bringing the perpetrators to book. While mourning the fallen personnel, the Katsina State Command of the service reaffirmed its commitment towards safeguarding the nation's borders with a resolve to promoting ease of doing business.
Most of the injuries they gave him was throughout on his head, whereby that is how we lost the officer.
This incident has triggered reactions from the residents who are calling on the service to strengthen its stakeholders forum with a view to ensuring harmonious relationships between customs officials and the public. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Quite a sad one there in Katsina State. And now to another sad development. Weeks after 17 military personnel were killed in an attack in Okwama, Delta State, Governor Sharif Obarowari has visited the community and assured of the safe return of indigents who fled the community after the incident. The governor, accompanied by some government officials, reiterated that innocent citizens would not be made to suffer for what they know nothing about. The commanding officer of 181 Army Amphibious Battalion, 2 majors, 1 captain, and 13 soldiers were ambushed and killed in March, an attack which drew widespread outrage and condemnation. Okwama, where the murders took place, has been inaccessible for weeks as the military and security operatives worked to fish out those behind the attack.
To see how the people, the innocent people can be relocated back with the cooperation of the military. You know, it's very painful for this great loss, and you know, you have to follow a process, and that's what we are following. And you can see today, even the brigade commander came with us to this very place. The new posted the commanding officer of 181, you know, the other one was murdered. The new one, Lieutenant Colonel Dabo, is also here with us today. So you can see we have synergy between the government and the security agencies. So it's a process. We're already on that process. Thank you.
This is the news update on Trust Television. Coming up after the break. Students unable to pay tuition fees due to the prevailing economic situation in the country. More news on return. Do stay with us. Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. Let's take a look at our top stories again. 7 students dead, 1 injured in Kebbi pit collapse. Farmers, herders sign peace pact to end clashes in southwest region. And to more stories. Academic activities have resumed at the Federal University, Dutse, Jigawa State, after a long summer break, but the students are finding it difficult paying their tuition fees due to the prevailing economic situation in the country. While some of the students have managed to return, a lot more are still at home, as trustee Ali Rabiu, who spoke to some of the returning students of the school on how they are faring. The reports.
The Federal University Dutse in Jigawa State was created in 2011, and in no time student population in the university increased significantly. Though the federal government has announced reintroduction of student loan schemes to support Nigerian students pursuing higher education, some students here said they are yet to see the loan made available to them. Bashir Ahmad, a level 400 student in the Department of Political Science, said he finds it difficult to settle tuition fees in recent times. According to him, he struggled to return to the university 4 weeks after resumption due to economic hardship.
Concerning the student loan, there are so many strategies that the student need to pass through them before an individual student have an access to that loan. So these strategies are considered very difficult for an individual student to pass them. So even the loan will not be balanced for the student to continue furthering their education.
He said many students are still at home because they lacked the resources to return nothing, however, that this will affect their academic performance as lectures have started 3 weeks back. Maisango Gideon, a fresh student in the Department of Sociology of the university, said it was not easy for his parents to raise money and pay for his tuition fee and basic needs before he returned to the school.
It wasn't easy, because when I was here, before I came to school, it wasn't easy for my parents to cater for the necessity for me to be here, because it is a long journey from here, from my home to here. It's a long journey, but due to the effort which my parents made, I found it easy. And me coming to school, I'm in school now, I'm facing a lot of challenges. Sometimes I usually realize that, honestly speaking, our parents are trying a lot in this economic problem.
Head of the Political Science Department, Dutse, FUD, Dr. Abubakar Yahya, said the economic situation in the country is one of the factors that led the students to report late after resumption of academic activities.
The most important factor is the economic situation. We know that arising from the increment in the school fees, in the last session, most state governments have to come out and bill their students to be able to finish their registration, and that session is over. A new session has just started, and most parents are finding it difficult.
And now in business, Yemi Cardoso, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, has asserted that the bank's recent foreign exchange reforms have positioned the naira as the top-performing currency globally. Despite the naira's previous decline against major currencies, Cardoso emphasized during a briefing at the World Bank IMF spring meetings in Washington, D.C., that the CBN's foreign exchange reforms are yielding positive results. However, Cardoso remains cautious and acknowledges the challenges confronting Nigeria's economy, particularly the escalating inflation rate. He stated that the CBN is actively addressing these challenges through various policy reforms aimed at stabilizing the economy and mitigating pressures on multiple fronts. We'll take it away from Nigeria now. Palestinian civil defense teams recently made a chilling discovery at Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis, southern Gaza, unearthing a mass grave. The grim find occurred 2 weeks after Israeli forces withdrew from the city. According to Gaza's civil defense agency, the grave contained the bodies of 50 Palestinians victims of violence perpetrated by Israeli occupation forces. The raid on Nasser Hospital by Israeli forces, which occurred in February amid intense bombardment, resulted in the death of numerous individuals seeking shelter at the medical complex. The assault on Khan Yunis, Gaza's second-largest city, forced residents to flee their homes, leaving much of the area devastated. Although the Israeli military announced its withdrawal from Khan Yunis on April 7, the scars of months of attacks linger as displaced Palestinians cautiously return to their shattered communities. Finally, in sports news, Manchester City secured a hard-fought 1-0 victory against Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final, with Bernardo Silva scoring the decisive goal late in the game. Silva's redemption came after his recent penalty miss in the UEFA Champions League quarter-final against Real Madrid. His goal, a close-range finish from Kevin De Bruyne's cross, ensured City's advancement to the final at Wembley Stadium. Chelsea, despite creating numerous scoring opportunities, failed to capitalize, with striker Nicolas Jackson notably missing several chances. The defeat adds to Chelsea's disappointment at Wembley following their recent loss in the Carabao Cup final against Liverpool. Controversy arose when Chelsea's appeals for a penalty were denied after Cole Palmer's free kick struck the hand of Jack Grealish. Referee Michael Oliver and VAR upheld the decision, frustrating Mauricio Pochettino and his team. Manchester City's victory maintains their pursuit of a domestic double as they remain unbeaten in 29 consecutive matches across all competitions, a club record. Their remarkable form positions them as favourites heading into the FA Cup final, where they await the winner between Manchester United and Coventry City. Guardiola's side aims to claim their third FA Cup title in 6 seasons. And that concludes the news update on Trust Television at this hour. But remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream from our news programs and documentary. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for your time. Join us again.